Al McMordie, let's talk about it. First of all, as we talked about yesterday, it is interesting. I want to bring up what we just talked about before we got on the air. What do you think? It's a great marketing strategy when a book refunds you on an injury. DraftKings refunded all bets on the Pacers.
Yeah, well, I mean, why not? It's marketing. It's and you also have, I mean, it's the end of the NBA season. Um, People get money back in their DraftKings account. They have to bet it.
Right, it's DraftKings
So
dollars. Right.
yeah, so it's not like they're. But now tell me how it works. So let's say because there's all different types of bets, right? So some guy could have had $25 on the Pacers. Another guy could have had 10,000 on the Pacers. Are they giving people like just a free X dollar bet, or is it
Here, I'm
matching
looking.
what they actually
I'm
lost?
I'm reading the Twitter right now. This is on their official at DK Sportsbook on Twitter, because obviously you're on Twitter. Tyrese Halliburton update. We will be refunding all losing bets that included Tyrese Halliburton on markets that were undetermined before he left the game. This includes
Oh, so
single
that's
and
not a bet. That's not a bet on the
wait.
Pacers. That's
Let
just a
me
bet on like
no
props.
no. Let me finish.
Okay.
This includes single and parlay wagers where he was the only losing selection. Okay, maybe you're right. Credited inside 48 hours, digital bets only, refunding in DK dollars.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's
So
it's
does that
it's it's because people think they got a raw deal because he got injured. That's part of gambling, of course, but they're not refunding. So if you had the Pacers plus 6.5, you don't get anything. But if you had a Tyrese Halliburton points prop, yeah, and it's great
so this
goodwill.
had nothing to do if you were betting the way I read it, that had nothing to do with a bet on the Pacers. Got
No,
it.
only Tyrese. But I think that's great. I love it when sportsbooks do stuff like that because um, people don't get angry, right? You don't want your clients being angry or that Tyrese, that
And
an
look, they
act of
do that.
God.
They do that just to show you what crazy Twitter's. I'm not even going to get the comments of negativity that they didn't do enough after they did that is
Oh,
like that's more entertaining to read.
I wouldn't be entertained reading it. That's a cesspool to be if people are
I know I'm
criticizing
putting
you.
my phone down right now. Done. So I did get a text message this morning from somebody saying, "How can I access June, July, and August for free?" And then we had a conversation. I explained to this gentleman, for all you listening, when you purchase the upcoming college and pro football slash basketball season, you will receive the remainder of June, July, and August absolutely free. Now, I haven't gone back and done the exact tally with the all access rating system. I don't know since that trivial day of January 1st, Al. But if you had wagered on, I did 2025 after the NBA playoffs. If you have wagered on every game 1,000 per unit, you have had 17 winning weeks for a total of plus $346,150. You have had 8 losing weeks for a total of 77,850. This is all with the juice, with a net profit of 268,300. Now, if you converse that to a $100 unit better, you're up $26,830 after the VIG. That's the difference between the all ratings, all access versus playing the games individually straight, where you can go online and get the games. I don't know how many units you're up since January 1st on Pick Dogs on the premium site. We can always look into that later. But again, that's where you stand right now after the NBA playoffs, plus 268.3 units. Obviously, you could be $100 better, or you could be $1,000 better, or you could be a $10,000 per limit better. Do I think that we can talk about this out. Do I think that anybody's up 2.68 million? No, because I think the hardest thing is to bet big money on these games and not get limited. As you and I know from the nightmare of last season and every season as a professional sports bettor, there's a lot of guys that call me that have Lear jets that fly to Vegas. And I have a client that lives in Cincinnati. He flies to Vegas every weekend to bet the NFL because the only way he can get his money down is to fly to Vegas.
yeah. I had a client send me a photograph of a bet he made on one of my plays about 2 weeks ago, and it was trying to remember the exact number. It was, I mean, I was even shocked at how much he bet on just a single game. It
Well, you saw
was,
the ticket of the client that bet 500,000 on Philly that we have.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, this guy sent it to me, and it was 160, something like he won like 160,000, whatever it was on this one game.
Nice money management. I wonder how he came up with that number.
Well, it's just there are people that have a lot of money to bet on a lot.
Well, no. But what I'm saying is, it's about the sharpness. We all know that losing bettors have no limits, right? So if you open an account at any of the legal sports books, like you're not in a state.
Oh no, I understand. I understand what you're saying.
So, like, if you're a negative net loser, they'll let you bet as much as you want, which is why. But when you're someone like Micah or myself or even you, I mean, I'm in a state where it's legal. I'm limited to $100, not even $100, $50 a game. So it's like, because it's funny. You and I talk about closing line value and how a lot of your games, it doesn't matter the way you handicap, where Micah as a syndicate, it matters. But the problem is if you actually beat the closing line at the sports books, whether you win or lose, they limit you.
You win or lose, they're gonna limit.
So I've had situations where I've opened up an account for 10 grand. I'm putting in Micah's plays. I'm down to $6,000 variance. He's losing, but he's beating every number. I get a message that I'm now limited down $4,000. They don't care. They don't even get the opportunity to win the $4,000 back.
Yeah, my agent at the Tradewin Sportsbook told me that. He said all they care about is, are you getting the right numbers? And it's not about winning and losing.
So
he told me that. So
I had a couple of clients thinking that it was only about winning, and they opened up some accounts, and then they were down like 30% on their principal deposit, and they got limited. And they called me freaking out. And I had to explain to them, no. You think you only get limited when you win. They know, because the guy told him, we don't care that you're down 30%. If you keep beating the number, you're going to beat us.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. So, it's interesting because that you can do it, and it actually is very notable in baseball. Like, just to give you an example, like I see syndicates hitting games early in the morning at minus 20 cents in baseball, and then I log in an hour later and it's 45 cents. You got to be careful because you can beat the closing line on the money line as well in baseball. It's not only a point spread thing as well. So, the hardest thing to do is bet big money. I have clients that try to extrapolate that are very wealthy that watch these videos and reach out to me. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of these guys, they get into the whole weekend hopping because they know you're high volume on Saturday and Sunday. So a lot of these guys will live in like the Midwest. They'll just hop on a plane in the morning. To me, it's crazy to do that. But if you want to bet 10,000 a unit, I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah. No, I mean, I and there's lots of things guys have to do. I have a client bets at the the legal sports books, DraftKings and
right.
Whatever. So during the basketball season, he's shuttling back and forth between New York and New Jersey because some of the schools are in New York and he can't bet on them in New Jersey. Some of the schools are in New Jersey, can't bet on them in New York.
Yeah, you were on Jersey. You were on some Jersey teams that I had one of your big clients just torturing him that he couldn't, and he would do the same thing. If his brother lived in New York and have his brother play.
Yeah, so like if we had New Jersey Tech or Princeton or
to me, the stupidity of that rule is stupid. We could spend an hour talking about that.
That is the deal you have to make with the moral majority to get the law passed in the first place. So if that's the cost, right? If that's how you get the holdout state senators to agree to the gambling legislation in the first place, it's a minor cost.
No, I agree. I could see that. With that being said, guys, do reach out for June, July, and August. What are we looking at for Tuesday? I know you told me Tuesday they take off WNBA on Monday, so I'm going to say you're picking a WNBA game.
Yeah, I'm picking a WNBA game. And we have the NBA draft on Wednesday. I went online to see if I could find some easy prop bets, but they haven't posted anything yet at the illegal books that I'm using.
Exactly. Right.
But I was hoping that they'd have some like bad numbers, but not yet.
Right.
Um, we're going to take a look at the Seattle store. Seattle comes into this game, Eric, off back-to-back huge wins over the last two WNBA champions, Las Vegas and the New York Liberty. And they were both also high-scoring wins. They got 90 points in one game, 89 in the other. But off those two big emotional wins, now they're playing an Indiana Fever team that's coming off a loss on Sunday. Indiana's lost a few in a row. And Indiana, ever since Caitlin Clark joined them, when they were off a loss and their opponent was off a win, they've gone 11-5 ATS. So I like the situation with the Fever coming off these losses, going against a team that's coming off big wins over the last two champions of the WNBA. So we're going to fade Seattle. We're going to take Indiana on the road plus the 2.
Indiana plus 2 is your complimentary selection, guys. Reach out to me for all access. And as always, good day and good luck.